Thank you for tuning into the show. And you know that this month is Women's History Month. I want to congratulate an organization that is doing such great things in Toledo, Ohio, and that is the Women of Toledo. They are educating, engaging, empowering the women and youth of Toledo, Ohio. Sabrina Weaver, job well done. For more information, please give them a call at 567-970-7172 and let them know that you heard about their organization on Determined Women of Destiny Talk Show. Welcome to Determined Women of Destiny, powered by Rudy Radio Entertainment. I am your host, Yvonne the Motivator Man. This is the show that gives you the business, the good, the bad, and the beautiful of female entrepreneurship, providing business empowerment through inspirational motivation. I want you to like, share, and definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Determined Women of Destiny, just like the name of the show. I am so excited. I have a guest today that I've been trying to get on my show forever. Welcome to the incomparable Verna Best.
Hi, what's up? What's going on? I am excited to be here.
Well, you know what's going on, Verna? Verna, what's going on is your poetry.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my goodness. Verna is a fabulous spoken word artist. She has spoken all over the tri-state area. She's going to talk to you a little bit about her venture she has because she looks very much like Nina Simone. She does a Nina and Me evening, and she's going to tell us about that. But Verna, I want you to just tell us about you.
Well, I started writing poetry about 20 years ago. It seems such a long time ago. I started writing after my friend passed away, and I was sitting at his mother's dining room table, and I said to her, I want to write a play now. Mind you, before that, I've never written anything. I really wasn't a writer. And I said, I want to write a play. She said, go ahead. So I wrote the play. I gave it into my bishop at the time, which is Bishop Newman of the Friendly Church. And he wanted me to do it as a cantata. So we did it as the cantata. And I'm not just saying it because I wrote it, but it was phenomenal. And then after that, he saw the gift of writing. So he allowed me to write a poem every month for the church calendar. And that's how my poetry grew from there.
Wow. So yes. Give us the name of that play that inspired the cantata for, all the people that went to church with you back then, so they could reminisce a little bit.
The Gift. It was The Gift. And one of my close friends, we still talk and stuff like that, Mona, it was an adaptation of Scrooge. So she played the mean old woman. And it was such a phenomenal play with meaning. And it was instead of the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, it was the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. It was phenomenal. So they came to talk to her. She was bitter, embittered by life. Her name in the play was Mrs. Bitterman. She was bitter because she lost her husband and things happened in her life. So that was the basis of the play. It was phenomenal. We had some dynamic singers. Sabrina Crutch was, she can sing you under the table, girl.
I know.
So we had some talent in the Friendly Church singers, and we all came together. I'm telling you, that play really opened up my gift of writing.
And the man of God saw the gift, and then he pushed you.
Yes, he did. Bishop Newman pushed me to write. Still to this day, because he's still waiting for the book. Mother Newman too. She was like, every time she see me, she reminds me of where's the book? So I gotta get this book. I gotta do the book.
Okay, well, it's out in the atmosphere. Verna, where's the book, Verna?
Where's the book? It's coming.
All right. And you say it's coming. So what's the title of the book? Give us a little,
I really don't have a title. I'm really trying to be led because I just don't want to write anything, and that was my thing before. I'm sort of kind of a perfectionist in a way. I'm like, what can I say that has not already been said? You know, but you know, I haven't gotten the title, but it's gonna come. It's gonna come together.
Well, you know what could be said that hasn't already been said because it wasn't already said by Verna Best.
That's a good way to look at it. That's right.
You know,
That's
the incomparable Verna Best hasn't said it, so we're waiting for it. We're waiting for it. What is the motivation behind you writing now? Now we know it was inspired by the passing of your friend and then the man of God, you know, just wrung it out of you. But now, what is the motivation? What keeps your pen to the paper?
I always say that society is my muse. I gain inspiration from the world around me, the Bible, current events, what's going on in the world, COVID-19, people. I do personalized poetry as well. So I write, you know, it's one thing to write about love, but when people give me their loved one and said, oh, I want you to write a poem for my mother or for my bishop or my pastor, and I see the joy on their face when I get, like, I take the words, it's just something that God gave me, and to write specifically for them, not just in general, not in just general terms, but what they do, what they like. So that motivates me, people and events.
And giving that personalized service.
Yes, and watching them really be like, wow, that's good. You know, she got me down pat.
and that's something that you can really keep. It's funny you brought that up. I'm remembering in high school, Fraser Thornton, if you follow me on Facebook and you see this, hey boy, hey. We were in high school and Fraser took a 3x5 index card and he wrote a poem, not to me, but about me. And I had that poem, I'm gonna say, my daughter had to be at least 5 or 6 years old before I decided, you know, to discard it. But I'll always remember that he just decided he just walked up to me and said, here, Yvonne. I was like, okay. And it was a poem about me.
Wow. See how you still from that time remembered. I'm not trying to date you, but it wasn't yesterday, you know what I mean? So
it was over 40 some odd years.
Oh, now come on here. So that's a
long time. Long time to, you know, remember. So your motivation, the joy that you get from just people enjoying your work keeps you going and going and going. Absolutely. So out of those different things that you do, what is the most asked for? Do they want a personalized poem for a loved one, or do they want you to come just recite your poetry?
I get asked, I would say the personalized poetry. I'm asked to do because I write for weddings, funerals, sweet 16s, that kind of thing. So that I would say I get asked to do more of the personalized part because people want, it's like the personal touch. Like, yeah, you can say general stuff, but when it's about me, it's something special. It's something heartfelt. It's something that person took time to think about, not just like, oh, roses are red, violets are blue, but they took out the time to say why the roses are red, why the violets are blue. So that I think that's what they look at, you know. I wrote a piece for a pastor one time about his wife. I think she was having her birthday service, and he called me. He's like, "Girl, thank you." That was, motivation for him and her. So I was like, okay. So he said, "Thank you."
He
You're gonna get an
enjoyed
extra piece of chicken tonight.
I was like, right. He enjoyed your talent.
Yes, it worked in his favor.
Right. Because
yeah.
she shared her talents with him.
Right. So yes.
Oh, that is
That's
great.
the
We're going to go to break. And when we come back, we're going to have Miss Bess read one of her poems, since we've been talking about all this poetry. And you're probably sitting up there saying, well, how we know she this good? Well, I'm telling you, when we come back from break, just remember to like, share, subscribe, and we'll be back. And y'all come back too. Welcome back to Determined Women of Destiny. I am your host, Yvonne, the Motivator Man. I've been chopping it up with the incomparable Verna Bess, the best spoken word artist this side of New York in the tri-state area. Just want to remind you that Determined Women of Destiny is sponsored by Haskell Slinger Funeral Home. And without further ado, Verna is going to read us one of her poems. So sit back, relax, and please enjoy.
Good evening, everyone, again. In light of our Women's History Month, I would like to share a piece called Women Dwelling in Unity. And I changed up some of the words today to go along with what we're talking about today and the platform that I'm on. So it says, "We are women of determined destiny, dwelling in unity. There's no place I would rather be. I will help you when you are in need. We will succeed. I recognized who you are, girl. We've all been hurt, discouraged, and scarred. I will show you affection, give you direction. When you're at an impasse, I will ask if you need a hand. I will help you stand. We are determined women of destiny, dwelling in unity." Thank you.
No. Thank you. I love that. And
Thank you.
That is such the premise of this show. Determined Women of Destiny is a home for female entrepreneurs so that they can showcase their businesses and their services. Marketing and advertising is so hard for female entrepreneurs, and this show gives them that place to do it. And you captured that in that one poem. You better go, Miss Beth. You better work it out. Oh my goodness. I love that. Whenever I go to speak, at the end I talk about my name, because my parents, my married name is Man, but my maiden name is Poole, so my initials are actually YAP.
Oh.
And I talk about, the scripture that says, "I knew you before you were formed in your mom's womb." Right. And I talk about how my parents met and how I got my name. But I also say this one little thing, and I ask the women to repeat it after me, and it's, "I'm a determined woman of destiny. My purpose and the plan of my life has been laid out for me. I cannot fail, I can only succeed, because I'm a woman of destiny."
Oh, wow.
Now you just said all of that.
I did.
You never heard me say it.
I never heard you say it until today.
And see, that's when kindred spirits come together. And God starts working. We're on the same plane, going on the same journey, taking the same flight with the same ticket.
That's true.
So you female entrepreneurs, you better jump on board now. You just heard the connection. So jump on board.
That's it.
Now, from doing all of this, and you're a female entrepreneur because you're out there peddling your product just like the rest of us. Your product just happens to be you.
Right.
So what have you learned through this journey of being an entrepreneur that's really thinking outside of the box? Because you took this gift and said, you know what, I'm going to make this a business. And my gift will make way for me. I'm going to put a dollar sign on it and let's see what happens. And people have been coming to
Yeah.
purchase your products. So
Yeah.
what was some of the things that you learned through this process?
Being consistent, even when you don't see the results right away. Sometimes we want to see 20 years, we talking of writing, and it really didn't start picking up to maybe the 10th year. I did a lot of free gigs. I did a lot, and I still do to this day, because I just feel, God gave you a gift, I share it and support, but being consistent even when you don't see the results right away. And I still feel like I'm not where I should be, but I know that I'm on the road to where I need to be. So I don't want to get discouraged, but yes, being consistent is one of the things. And writing my thoughts down, because in that writing my thoughts down, it becomes like Bishop always used to tell us, anytime, like, I always have my journals, my pen. I'm not getting rid of that, even though you have the electronics, everything is electronics now, whatever. But I keep my pen and my journal next to my bed, so that way when I get a thought, I write it down. And those little thoughts become a book. Those little thoughts become a poem. So if I've learned anything in this game, is being consistent.
What are some of the misconceptions of the work that you do, of being a poet and being a spoken word artist? What are some of the things that people say to you that you're like, no, that's not even what it's all about?
I guess it would be, it looks easy, because when you do stuff, not pat myself on the back, but when you do something well, it always it becomes like, that looks easy, I can do it. But it's not as easy as it looks, because it's years of sometimes feeling isolated, feelings of loneliness, times that you gotta come away from the crowd, so to speak, to get that thought or that word for that poem. So I would say making it look easy.
Well, no, this is a place where you can pat yourself on the back. That's the reason why you were asked to be a guest, because you are excellent at what you do. If you didn't, I wouldn't have been running behind you to keep asking you to please come and talk to my listeners about, what you do. And you're right. When you do something well, people always say, well, I could do that. Well, if you could do it, you would have did it. You wouldn't have paid, to see my show. But that's just me talking,
Or it's not as, I'm saying not as important, but when it comes to the other, like singing and playing an instrument, poetry might be like down on the totem poles. But to me, it's all in the same vein.
Yes, it is.
It's all in the same vein.
A song came from, rhythm and rhyme.
That's it. That's it. I like that rhythm and rhyme.
You cannot get a song without the words. So
that's right.
They need to start respecting. I think when Common finally broke that glass ceiling and started, really making those records, and then he was put on the soundtrack of a couple of movies, then people started seeing, this spoken word thing is really, really serious.
Rap or hip hop, it's poetry. It's just a different beat, or the syncopation of the recitation of the poetry. So it's the same, in the same vein.
And it puts you in a feeling, it makes you feel. A good poem will make you feel. And then a good poem, you'll remember just the beginning of it, because if you say, life ain't been no crystal stair for me, that's Langston Hughes.
There you
You know, what happens to a dream deferred? You know, that's a raisin in the sun. You know,
Right, don't
you know, I know why the cage bird sings. You know, that's Maya Angelou. So it evokes feelings.
It's true.
It makes us think.
Nostalgia and
You know, it makes us think, and you know, we'll come outside of our black and white existence and start seeing hues of color when words start hitting the atmosphere.
it's true. In high school, I enjoyed like Shakespeare and
Billy Shakes. I nicknamed him
Countryman, lend your ear kind of thing. So even in that the poetry, it's the, like you saying, going back to the words and the thoughts and
and it's a special type of talent, putting all that together and then presenting that to, you know, the public. And then you're hoping that they understand the abstractness of maybe words that shouldn't go together have come together, and you know, they understand what you're trying to say. You know, it's like putting together a play in about 3 minutes.
There you go.
You know, it's a spoken play, 3 minutes.
That's right. You're telling the story.
That is it.
That's it.
We're going to go to break. Want you to make sure you come back. Miss Bess is going to give us another one of her poems, which is a rare treat, because I'm telling you, when you hear what she's coming up with next, you're going to realize that you were on the bargain basement floor of something very spectacular. We're going to break. Make sure you come back. We are back. Verna Bess, the spoken word artist, and I'm your host, Yvonne the Motivator Man. You've been listening to Determined Women of Destiny. If you just tuned in, shame on you. I keep telling you, you got to come in at the beginning of the show, because you miss so much if you wait until the middle. But I'm so glad you joined me anyway. I just want to take a moment and just thank my creative producer, which is Rudy J. Breedy. My sponsors, I have, it's a few, but I'm going to talk about Vera Moore Cosmetics, strategic business marketing with Supreme Managed. I have one of my favorites, Chef Mark Anthony Bynum, and of course, Slinger Haskell Funeral Home. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the show. You know, you gotta share this with your friends, because you know what she's gonna tell us, what she's doing now. You're gonna wanna, get on it, because we are going back again to be playing outside, and there's some things that we'll want to go see and interact and do some stuff. And Verna, tell us what's coming up for Verna Best and her spoken word.
Of things coming up, but the one thing that's exciting is that one night with Nina Simone. The years just go by fast, so we don't count 2020. So 29, it had to be 2019. I did the prelude to One Night with Nina. What I did was took some of her work and revised it. I wouldn't say revised it. I kept it like it was, because I didn't want to mess with her original work, and also get copyright infringement. So I kept it clean, but I added my flavor to it, and I did it once. I think it was 2019. Like I said, 2020 is a blur, so it wasn't 2020. So 2019, and I gave them a little snippet of it, and it got rave reviews. So we're going to revisit that One Night with Nina, and You'll be surprised who don't know about her.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Isn't that something? People don't realize that a lot of the songs that they've heard over the years was Nina's song.
Yes. Yes. Oh yeah. I did it for Black History Month.
Okay.
I'm getting yeah, I did it for Black History Month. Oh, it was 2020. Okay. Like I said, it was February 2020.
Okay.
Like I said, 2020 was a blur. So that was before the pandemic hit and the social distancing. We
totally shut down.
Yes. So
okay.
It was, yes. So, like you can see it, right? But yes, and I'm excited about that. And I also have a fashion show coming up. So that will be my first fashion show that I'll be showcasing my poetry.
Tell us about the fashion show and how we can get tickets or whatever.
I will put everything on Facebook, but you will see Tiara Crutch. She is a young entrepreneur. You need to get her on, Yvonne.
Okay.
You need to get her on. She's a young, thriving entrepreneur, and what I love about her is she helps others. So what she does, and she's following her father's footsteps. So what she do is get talent. She's search for talent, get them to be a part of her show. So I'm gonna be a part. The date is to be announced. I think it's going to be in the spring, but I'm not sure. But I'll have all the information on Facebook once it hit. It's called Rose Dupaton, Concrete Rose. I'm excited. So I'm doing something personalized for her show.
Okay, she's a fashion designer.
She has a fashion line, yes.
Okay. Now, I have to do a shout out to this woman because I secretly stalk her. Lady Dion Dennis.
Oh, those shoes.
What? I am so mad that I can't wear heels no more.
Really?
What? Yes.
I'll wear them for you.
I definitely want her on the show.
Yes.
Her shoes. You have to write a poem about her shoes because those shoes are poetry.
They're in motion.
Yes.
They are. They really are. And she's such a lovely woman. She's such a lovely spirit. So yes, definitely get her on.
Yes. I met her in North Carolina with Apostle James Powell. I let her know that I'm her Facebook stalker. I love Lady Dion Dennis.
Yes,
she is so royal. Well. She's such a royal woman.
Yes, she is. A class act, as they say.
You can see her, Princess of Zamunda.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Most definitely. Tell us how we can stay in contact with you and follow you and stalk your page.
Stalk my page. Stalk me, yes.
Let's stalk Verna Best. Tell us how we can do that.
You can reach me on IG at Verna Best _. Also on Facebook, Verna Best.
Okay. So do you have a website for us? Are you working on the website?
Not yet. Not a website yet. I have my email, vernabest@gmail.com. So if you want to send invitations my way, you're more than welcome.
Great. And the first woman that hits Verna up and says, I listened to your show on Determined Women of Destiny will receive a water bottle that says Determined Women of Destiny on it.
Right.
The first one. So I'll be asking Verna. So if you want that water bottle, because everybody's drinking their water, because everybody's trying to get that flat stomach for the summer.
Oh, that's right.
Or either trying to get off this Corona weight.
The 15, Corona 15.
The Corona, that's what it is. The average weight gain was 15 pounds. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But yes, again, the first woman that contacts Miss Verna and says, I listened to your show will get a free water bottle from me to help you on your journey. Verna, give my listeners some encouragement, those who may have been writing for a while and they don't see where where it could go, or they're trying to put it on that vehicle so it can go, or some young people that think that they're just like a little bit strange because they like to sit up in their bedroom and just write these poems that they think nobody's going to ever listen to or understand.
My encouragement would be, number one, look to God.
Mm-hmm.
Look to God. Number two would be, don't give up. It was times where I felt like, nobody's listening to me. Nobody cares about what I've got to say. But don't give up, because you have something to say in this world. God breathed the breath of life into your soul. So there is something valuable that's inside of you that others need to hear. Right? As I said before, get you a journal, get you a pen and paper or whatever you have. I know you have your electronics, but it's something about a pen or pencil, something about a writing utensil and paper that's different. Write your thoughts. Words become action. So what you write, if you will see it come to life. And like I said, it may take a while, but be consistent and be persistent. Don't give up. Keep going. Keep moving. And the times I felt the most vulnerable and the most like discouraged are the best words that God ever gave me. And people will come to me and be like, oh my God, that was such an awesome, and I didn't even think it was anything, but they would come to me and be encouraged by it. So don't give up. Keep going.
Wonderful. Can you please bless us with one more piece before we get out of here?
Sure. I will give you the first piece that I've wrote, and it's called Spirit. Like the autumn breeze, I can hear you whisper softly in my ear. Even though I cannot see you, I feel you with every step I take. I see the signs of your presence as others lose themselves in rhapsody. How could some ignore the wonders that lie so deep within? You bring great pleasure to those who dare to taste of your goodness. You're intoxicating, you're captivating. Your very essence captivate me. I long to be in your presence. Spirit, you're like the wind beneath my wings as eagles take flight. You're my cloud by day and my fire by night. You give me love unconditionally. You lead me and guide me as a shepherd leads his sheep. As I open my mouth, I speak and peace is still. Oh, how I love obeying your will. Great is thy faithfulness. You're like a Hershey's kiss in my mouth, for I tasted of your goodness. Now, how can this be? Someone love me for me and not what I possess? Spirit, you love me even when I was in my mess. Now I can go on and on telling you how I feel. You're the real deal, like laughter after pain, like sunshine after rain. You brighten my day. Never leave me, Spirit, I pray. Thank you.
Thank you again. On that note, there's nothing else for me to say except thank you so much for being on the show.
You're welcome.
You have been listening to Determined Women of Destiny. I have had the pleasure today to be your host, Yvonne the Motivator Man. My guest, Verna Best. Check her out on Facebook and IG. For those old heads, IG is Instagram.
Yes.
And you can reach me at Determined Women Destiny at gmail.com. If you're a female entrepreneur, you'd like to be on the show. If you have any questions about what you heard today, how you can make contact, and you can't contact Miss Best, you can always contact me again That email is determinedwomendestiny@gmail.com. And until next time, good people, keep doing what you're doing until what you're doing gets done. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings.